Today, we're going to crack open one of the most profound and honestly practical texts ever written. It's not a guide to some new piece of tech. It's a guide to the most complicated, incredible machine we all own, our own mind. No, really, just think about that for a second. What if you had a manual to help you navigate all that mental chatter, the constant distractions, the emotional roller coasters, a way to find some real clarity and calm in the middle of all the chaos?
Now, that sounds like a modern self-help pitch, doesn't it? But get this. This manual has been around for over 2,000 years. It's called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and it's basically a timeless blueprint for understanding our own consciousness.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to look at the blueprint of the sutras themselves, define what yoga's actual goal is, walk through the path of practice, touch on the amazing results, and, most importantly, see how we can use this ancient wisdom in our lives today. All right, so before we start any journey, we've got to understand the map, right? Well, the Yoga Sutras are laid out with this incredible precision, just perfectly designed to guide you step by step. The entire massive philosophy is boiled down into just 195 short statements, or aphorisms. You know, the word sutra literally means thread, and each one of these is like a potent little thread of wisdom that, when woven together, creates a complete system for mastering the mind. And those 1995 threads, they're organized into 4 distinct chapters, or padas. Each one builds on the last, taking us all the way from the basic ideas to the ultimate goal. And check out how logical this flow is. Chapter 1 just defines the destination. What's the goal? A state of deep contemplation called samadhi. Then, Chapter 2 says, okay, here's the map to get there. Chapter 3 describes the amazing things you might see along the way, the milestones. And finally, Chapter 4 explains the ultimate freedom of reaching the summit, a state called kaivalya. So let's jump to the very first, most fundamental question this sutras answer. What even is yoga? Because the answer is probably not what you're thinking. And it's right there in the second verse of the entire text. This is it. This is the whole ballgame. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. It roughly translates to, yoga is the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind. Let's break that down. Chitta is the mind, vritti are its fluctuations or whirlpools, and nirodha is the calming of those whirlpools. Notice something missing? Yeah, not a single word about downward dog. The goal is purely internal. Let's look closer at that term chitta vrittis. Think of your consciousness like a lake. The vrittis are all the ripples, waves, and whirlpools on the surface. The constant stream of thoughts, emotions, and memories that keep the water from ever being still. And Patanjali actually breaks down these fluctuations into 5 main types. And this is what's so wild. It includes everything from correct knowledge and memory to daydreams, wrong assumptions, and even the state of deep sleep. So the key takeaway here is that yoga isn't just about stopping bad thoughts. It's about gaining conscious control over all mental activity. Okay, so if the goal is to calm all those whirlpools in our mind, how in the world do we actually do it? Well, this is where the manual gets super practical. Patanjali lays out this clear, step-by-step method that you might have heard of, the 8-limbed path. Here are the 8 steps. And look how it's structured. It starts with how we behave in the world, then moves to our personal habits. From there, it works with the body and the breath. And only then does it turn inward to the mind itself, leading all the way to that final state of samadhi. It's a totally holistic path. So the journey actually begins not on a yoga mat, but in how we treat other people. The yamas are ethical rules, sure, but they're also super practical. If you act with nonviolence, truthfulness, and integrity, you calm the chaos in your external world, which makes it a whole lot easier to calm your internal world. Next up are the niyamas, which turn that focus inward. This is about our relationship with ourselves. By cultivating things like purity, contentment, and self-discipline, we start to create a stable, peaceful inner environment. We're basically setting the stage for the mind to become quiet. So after laying these foundations, we get to the more familiar stuff, like postures and breath work, which all lead to deep concentration. And what happens when you follow this path for a long time? Well, the last 2 chapters of the sutras explore the profound results. And this is where things move from the practical to the truly extraordinary. The 3rd chapter talks about vibhuti, special abilities or profound insights that can pop up when you get really deep into concentration. But Patanjali is clear. These are just signposts, not the destination. Don't get distracted.
The real goal, which he describes in the final chapter, is kaivalya, a state of absolute freedom, where you're no longer tangled up in the mind's drama and suffering. Now, all this might seem very philosophical, very ancient, but the sutras are absolutely packed with incredible tools we can use right now, today. So let's just focus on one brilliant technique for keeping a peaceful mind in our crazy modern world. Patanjali introduces this idea called chitta prasanam. You can basically think of it as mental hygiene. It's the active practice of clarifying the mind, of consciously choosing to keep it in a pleasant and serene state, no matter what's going on around you. And he gives us 4 keys for our everyday interactions. He says, when you see someone who's happy, cultivate friendliness. Don't get envious. For someone who is suffering, feel compassion. When you see someone who's virtuous or doing good things, feel joy for them. And for those who are acting, well, not so virtuously, cultivate indifference. Don't get drawn into their drama. Just protect your own peace. You see, this isn't just ancient philosophy. It's an incredibly powerful psychological tool for taking back control of your inner state. So the question I want to leave you with is this: which one of these 4 keys will you use to unlock a more peaceful mind today?